So in today's video, we're going to be looking at an old guitar, a guitar from 1961. We'll be listening to some clean sounds, some overdrive sounds, maybe a blues widdle, and also a little melodic tune that I put together. So you're wondering, what is this guitar? The guitar is this EPIPHONE Olympic, made in the Gibson factory in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Now, before anybody turns off, I have featured this guitar before, but the previous video was really just saying that when I got it, what I decided to do was change the stock pickup, because I felt the stock pickup was a bit thin. But I've changed my mind. I have put the stock pickup back in, and it sounds great. So I'm so pleased with how it sounds. I just took a bit of inspiration last week. I thought I'm going to go back to some single coil sounds, and I'm going to put this old pickup from 1961. This is the original pickup, even the original wiring, which looks like it's seen better days. So I'll put all that back in, and the guitar sounds brilliant. So there will be a lot of sounds in this video, so let's quickly get on with it. Here's some clean sounds, and then with a tiny little bit more overdrive and some palm muting. Told you, it sounds really good. It sounds spanky. Can you describe a guitar as sounding spanky? Even, acoustically. It's spanky. It's good, and then when you're palm muting and doing chords, got a chunky tone from it. So as I said, when I got this, I thought the pickup was a bit thin. It appears I was wrong. So what I did was I asked my mate Mike if he could put a Seymour Duncan JB Jr. in here, and I changed the wiring as well, because I think these pots are maybe 300k or something. I'm not 100% sure, maybe 300k pots, but the pots date from the 37th week of 1961, the original pots. So Mike changed the whole thing, and all he did was just put a couple of screw holes in the cavity here. So there's nothing changed on this at all. So it was really easy just to swap the original stuff back, put it back in, because I kept it all in kind of one piece, and it must have only taken me, I don't know, about half an hour or something like that to put it back together, and I'm so glad I did. I'm getting used to not having the sort of drive that the Seymour Duncan was sort of pushing the amp a bit more, and I don't know, it just seems more articulate, even with a bit higher gain. Let's listen to some higher gain sounds. Again, really good. This isn't a particularly high output pickup. I measured it and it's 7.5k. It's just a single pickup model. What I've done is I've raised the pickup as high as it will go. So I don't know if that's helping, maybe getting most of the output as well. But it's chunky, but spanky. if that makes sense. So does it do classic rock? I think it does classic rock pretty well. So there you go, it's just a relatively short video today. It was really just to let you hear what the stock pickup in a 1961 Epiphone Olympic sounds like. Now this Epiphone Olympic is exactly the same shape and same dimensions as this 61 Gibson Melody Maker. The only difference, apart from the fact this is a Melody Maker D and it's got two pickups, the only difference that I can see is just there's a slight difference in the headstock shapes. It's just at the top there. I think the Epiphone one's a bit thinner. I mean, all the specs are the same. These are essentially just the same guitar. Some were sent to Epiphone dealers, some were sent to Gibson dealers. I guess the Gibson ones were more expensive as well, but same pickups, everything. They are both really good and they sound virtually identical. The pickups in the Melody Maker, the previous owner said he had them rewired, so they're just very, very slightly hotter, but I did record the two of them together. I didn't really hear much difference. These are just great guitars, just great old vintage guitars. If you're trying to get into vintage guitars, you know, they're not cheap sort of things, but the cheapest of them will be something like this, like an old Epiphone. So here's a little instrumental that I put together. It's only about 2 minutes long. I just recorded one guitar riff and then looped some drums, bit of bass, and then I went back and I added every sort of pass. I was adding another bit of melody guitar. Everything just played on this single pickup guitar, and it sounds pretty good. So there it is, an old Epiphone Olympic. One pickup, plays great, sounds great, looks pretty cool. So the final part of the video is what everybody's waiting on. It's an extended Blues Widdle, although not as extended as the normal ones I do. All the sounds played on this. I turned the gain down a little, or well, I turned the volume down a little on some parts, and I turned the tone. Now I will say, if there's anything bad about this guitar, but there's two bad things about this guitar: the tuners. The tuners are not the best tuners. These are original tuners. They are not great. I don't know if it's just because of the age of them, but it takes a while to get it in tune. So those are not great. And what was the other thing I was going to say? The other bad thing about this guitar is the tone pot. That's what it was. There is no tone pot in this. It doesn't seem to do a lot for a significant part of its travel. But I'm just going to leave it in. I don't really use a tone pot that much. I'm a bit of a Philistine when it comes to that sort of thing. I'm all or nothing on the pots. So there we go, an extended blues jam to end the video, just to make your weekend. As ever, folks, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on Dunsy's Guitar World. Just for now.